Your show will go live in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Blog Talk Radio.
Hello and welcome everybody to another episode of Closer Encounters, the show where you, the listener, is also the guest. I am your host, Clarence Mitchell, coming to you live from somewhere in Minnesota. Closer Encounters is streaming live from Blogtalk Radio. We are also live on Facebook, YouTube, and Google Hangout. For all of our newest updates, check us out on Facebook at www.facebook.com/Closer Encounters Radio. Don't forget to like, follow, and share. Would you like to be a special guest on Closer Encounters? Or do you know somebody that would like to be a special guest on Closer Encounters? Then just shoot us an email at closerencounters.info@gmail.com. That's closerencounters.info@gmail.com. Have you ever witnessed a UFO? Or seen something that you just cannot explain? Or maybe you've had your very own closer encounter. You believe in the ancient alien theory? We talk about this and much, much more. If you have a story, or maybe a question that you would like to get answered, give us a call. The number here is 347-989-1008. Again, the number 347-989-1008. Give us a call here at Closer Encounters. I'd love to talk to you.
Well, hello everybody, and welcome back to Closer Encounters, the show where you, the listener, is also the guest. Tonight's episode is about UFO sightings. So if you're just tuning in or logging on, coming at you here on Facebook Live and all that, if you've had some type of a sighting throughout your lifetime or whatever, give us a shout. And of course, we're getting hung up on already. And and I did have somebody in queue. Very nice. Let's try this again.
Welcome to Blog Talk Radio. Please enter your host.
Yeah, every day it just gets better and better.
To start your show now, press 1.
Since it appears you're calling back into a live show, we are reconnecting you now.
Sorry about that, Tim. I know you're listening. Let me boot you up here real quick. How you doing, Tim?
I'm doing good, man. I was just wondering what kind of glitches we're dealing with tonight. But,
yeah, it booted me before I even started the show, before we even, before the music and all that stuff, and I thought, okay, maybe that's going to be our one glitch for tonight, and then I no sooner get on here, and here we are, already booted, so. But But at least, hang in there. If I disappear, I'll come back, hopefully.
Yeah.
Couple of quick announcements before we get rolling here. Sad day. A lot of hearts go out to those people out there in Las Vegas. Sad situation that is. And we also lost a music legend and icon. Tom Petty has passed away with a heart attack. Sad deal. So hearts go out to family and friends and all that stuff. Sad to hear. Boy, what a deal, huh? 24 hours, all them people dying and stuff, and mass killing.
Oh my God.
Yeah. What is it with this world? I'm telling you, it's something's got to give.
Yeah. We've been saying it. I've been saying it all along now for the past couple of shows. That something needs to happen. We need some intervention of some kind. To straighten this out, because man, I mean, I was so surreal. When I started reading about what was going on in Vegas, I was like,
yeah,
oh, that can't be happening. No, not there.
Exactly.
And then have it go down in the middle of Jason Aldean's show.
Yep.
Who happens to be probably one of my favorite of all the new artists.
Right.
He is probably my favorite of them all. Him and Luke Bryan.
Right.
And Blake Shelton. And Lady Annabelle, and but it was just a musical get together like that, and my gosh, there was 30,000 people there.
Yep.
And I mean,
and this guy just
a rich environment. I mean, the guy was in the 32nd or 34th floor of the Mandalay Bay Motel.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just all you had to do is just spray down bullets from that elevation, and
that's what he did.
A bunch of people, man.
Yep. That's exactly what he did. Crazy.
I'm actually surprised there wasn't more that were killed, but man, it's just it's crazy. I mean, what possesses somebody to do something like that?
Hey.
I don't even want to. I don't even try to. It's like pedophiles. I don't even want to try to wrap my head around how they're thinking or what they're going through to do that.
Well, Sean Ruth Ann Smith is on, and of course they're claiming, she's saying, crisis actors at work, crisis actors. Now, that's been done in the past, and we've showed that in the past. I'm not sure if this is actually one of those deals. It's too early to tell yet, but we'll find out here soon enough. It'll come out if that is the case. But I got my feeling this isn't the case on this one. I think this one is a real deal here. But I don't know. Sad.
That's just a malfunctioning unit. Just went off. And my gosh, it's total disrespect for human life.
Exactly.
I mean, it's no wonder that the aliens aren't making contact with us, because I mean, my gosh, we're a pretty sorry species.
Here's the thing though, if you want to go that route, with it, Tim, and that, and we've talked about this before about the bad versus evil thing, and whatever, and this is kind of the signs of the time kind of thing. So if there are good aliens and bad aliens, and this would fall into that bad alien category, of course. I don't know if that's the case, what I'm saying, but it seems to be more bad out there now than there is good, that's for damn sure. I mean, it's ridiculous,
Well, obviously he was influenced by some outside event controls his actions,
Well, I did.
Whether it was something extraterrestrial or something terrestrial,
right,
or something something around us, something controlled that person's actions to do that.
Ironically,
you don't just normally do that. Normal people don't do
No, absolutely not. Not for
There-
that,
there I
not
go
like
saying
that.
There again, I go saying normal when I hate using the word
Right.
because
Who's
none
normal?
of us are normal.
Exactly.
Normal is that's out the window.
Yeah, ain't that the
I
truth?
forget that. But,
But ironically,
yeah,
I did see a couple of postings claiming that ISIS says that he was part of their clan and they're taking responsibility for it now. They claim that he converted over to Islam or whatever. Which I totally don't get. I just don't see it happening. But who knows? What the deal was. But yeah, sad thing all the way around. So
yes,
I don't know how much truth there is.
Under the influence of some type of probably under the influence of some kind of drug or narcotic or
That's what I'm
or
thinking.
drugs, narcotics, and
Yeah.
alcohol and all that probably coming about to be found.
But who the hell
Well,
carries a
well,
frickin' machine gun into a motel room? I mean, that's that's the thing I don't get. I mean,
I know.
he had to have this planned out for a while in order to do something like that. I mean, you just don't walk around Los Angeles, with a machine gun in your hand for no reason, and to go rent a motel room like that, and wow, yeah, and then commit suicide. What a cowardly act that is. You know what I'm saying? It's just ridiculous. But
Yeah. Well, there's a couple of sci-fi movies that have people who were they were lone wolf people, who were controlled by some type of a phrase or something, would activate their quest. They were brainwashed to do something.
right.
And somebody posted. I seen something just a few minutes ago. I'm not online right now. I've turned it off. But somebody said something that the Illuminati were involved in this. That, in the case of Illuminati being in control of people's mind or whatever,
Right.
mind control, which I mean. It's no big secret. The government's been doing that. They started doing that back during
A long time ago.
60s,
Yeah, very long time ago.
Yeah, a long time ago. They there was whole towns. There was a whole town in California that was under the influence of hallucinogenics. That the FBI and the powers that be, did a little experiment to see what would happen.
Right.
If you did this to this many gerbils in a cage, what's going to happen?
Exactly.
But they did it with people instead of gerbils. They did it with people.
Yeah.
And it could be something like that. I mean,
yeah,
it's crazy. It's senseless. It's senseless.
Well, this kind of reminds me back when I was truck driving, and I don't remember the actual year. Early 2000s, maybe even before that. But when that father-son duo there was running around Ohio, randomly shooting at people, drive-by shootings and stuff like that, and they finally caught him in the rest area. Somebody spotted him sleeping there. But that went on for weeks. I mean, people were scared to death to go down through Columbus and around Cleveland, in that area and whatever, and you just never knew from one day to the next, who was going to get killed or for what, But yeah, they, they did their thing there for a while, but they finally got caught up with. But yeah, I mean, it's that kind of shit, it goes on in the world, and it just makes you wonder, what are people thinking and why are they doing it? I mean, what's the deal, Random act of, whatever. But
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. All we can do is just pray for the people that were involved in it, and the
Absolutely.
The people who were the families of the people involved, and man, my heart goes out to them.
Yep, mine too.
Gosh,
absolutely.
How many times have I been at an event like that?
Well, we all have one time or another.
You're there to have a good time. You're there to have a good time. Next thing you know, the people around here are falling like flies, literally.
Yep.
You know.
Exactly. Well, that's just it too. It just goes to show you, you just never know. I mean, you just, this is why I'm staying away from crowds anymore. You know, I don't get around big crowds. I don't go to big events anymore, just for this reason. You know, not saying it's gonna,
I'm with you on that, man.
not saying it's gonna stop it, but I mean, I don't know.
It's something that I started that years ago. I used to love going to the fair. You know, wherever I was
Right.
at. You know,
Right.
This time of year, everybody's got their fair going on the end of the summer, or
Right. Festivals and fairs. Yeah.
the fall, during the fall.
Yep.
Yeah. Everybody's got there's county fairs and state fairs going on all over the country right now.
Absolutely.
And, love going to them. I love the midway. I love the food. I love the entertainment. I love all the rides. Some of the rides, man, I love them just as much as I do any roller coaster ride.
Sure.
You know.
Yeah.
The wilder the better. You know. And I used to love going on it, but I can't get myself to be.
Oh, here we go again. Look at this. Oh, you got to be kidding me. This has got to stop one way or the other. This is just totally ridiculous. Oh, Jesus. Here we go.
Welcome to Blog Talk Radio. Please.
Yeah, we got you.
To start your show now, press 1.
Since it appears you're calling back into a live show, we are reconnecting you now.
And it makes me very uncomfortable. It makes me very uneasy to be that way.
Absolutely.
But, it is what it is. You know, today's life is. You just don't know when things are going to happen, when things are going to break loose.
That's true.
There's so much turmoil and everything going on in the world. You know?
Yeah. Sean made another comment, said, they're trying to disarm us and put us all in fear, And that's another part of that conspiracy thing. I'll tell you what, it'd be a cold day in hell if they ever come knocking on my door asking for my weapons. They ain't going to get them. Yeah. Ain't going to happen.
Yeah. Obama, it was said, a lot of people have said all along that Obama's main goal was to take away people's guns. And that was something that, that he was going for it. He was going to try to do it. And this just gives the Democrats and the liberals something more to get the fuels to their fire.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's stupid. It's idiotic, and it's unnecessary, and it's putting the blame in places where they shouldn't be putting the blame, and not taking care of. I don't know how you can keep something like that from happening.
Well, you can't. I mean, how many billions of people live here? I mean, that's you're not. And honestly, quite honestly, the way I look at it is, we're damn lucky it doesn't happen more often, than what it does. Yeah. Seriously, with a lot more tragedy. Yeah. It's bad. Don't get me wrong, and I'm not saying anything good about it whatsoever. But I'm just amazed that it hasn't happened more often with all the people we have here in the United States.
Right.
I want to say hi to Gail and Andre. I said they'd come in. Sean also commented, says, kind of strange that this happened in the West. Think about it, up till now, every time a tragic event happened, it's always out east. That is true. We've had our share of stuff, but some of that stuff was also fake. It wasn't real either. So, and turn on the news, you don't see it a lot of it. Yeah, see, I don't watch the news anymore. I get so tired of watching that stuff. I just assume not, There's nothing anything good on the news anymore.
I've been 2 years now. I've been 2 years TV free, and I'll turn on the news. I mean, I just subscribed to CBS channel,
right,
on Facebook or YouTube. I don't know, one of the two. YouTube, I think, is like, I don't know. Anyhow, I have it. I got it. I got it downloaded, and I turn on the news. You know,
Right.
and I cannot watch the news anymore
Yeah.
because it's like, you know, it's like
It's sad, isn't it? Yeah.
this is not right.
Yeah.
You know,
And you don't know what's
you
real
know,
and what isn't real either.
And they do.
Yeah.
You see the control that's going on. You can see the control that's happening,
Right.
and how they control people's emotions and how they their anger and their happiness and everything is controlled by what is reported on the news.
All right.
And the propaganda that's at work there is the machine is alive and well today, folks.
Yeah.
I tell you.
Well, I tell you what I thought was funny.
It's going quite well.
Yeah, I thought was really funny was during the election how a couple of them had Hillary Clinton as the winner, you know, of the presidency, and the votes weren't even done yet. You know what I'm saying? And they were celebrating and telling everybody how she won and blah 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 blah. And I'm like, are you kidding me? You know. And then turned around, found out that Trump actually won. You know, I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah.
So you know.
so those are the people that are going crazy nowadays. You know, saying, you know, impeach Trump.
Impeach
you know,
him for what?
All these vicious,
yeah.
vicious cycles.
Yeah. Impeach him for what? You got to have a hell of a good ground to impeach somebody. You know, whatever. And he's just getting started. I mean, gee whiz. Yeah. I don't know. I'm not a very political person anymore. I really don't care much, you know. I mean, it is what it is. But anyway, Gail wants to know, how did he get all them guns up there in the 32nd floor? Quite honestly, Gail, you know what? He could have walked right up there with them strapped around his waist and over his shoulders, and nobody would have ever noticed him. You know, that's the way it is anymore. Sad deal. But,
well, you can break them down. You can break a lot of the automatic weapons. You can break them down and
absolutely
put them into a bag.
Put them in a suitcase, and away you go.
In a bag, you can have 4 or 5 in there, plus all the ammo. And,
absolutely.
You know, all the ammo too, all in one bag.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know? I mean, if you have a big duffel bag, big enough duffel bag, it'll carry it.
Sure will. Yeah.
You know,
crazy.
It's getting to the point though where we're going to have to have metal detectors and TSA check into a motel nowadays.
You may have to. They may do it just like airports. You know, you're going to wind up having lockdowns, and you can't get a motel room without having your background check and your frickin' dog sniffing your luggage on the way up. You know, whatever.
It's right around the corner.
Yeah,
you know, it's right around. I see it happening.
Yeah,
you know?
absolutely.
And the liberals are going to be at the head of that deal and making sure that it happens.
Yeah, absolutely. One form or another, you know, it's just, and it's all going to be pushed underneath the carpet of the big Homeland Security. I mean, that's how it's going to work. You know, that's the big blanket they cover everything up with. You know, Homeland Security. Shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got your Homeland Security right here.
Yeah, I hear you, man. Anyhow, anyhow, I mean, that's enough of the politics and the news of the world.
Yes, tonight's topic.
We have to make.
Yes.
Yeah, we have to make comment on it, though. We have to say something about it.
Absolutely.
We just can't just go on without
saying something. Yes.
You know,
absolutely, I agree. Yeah.
We are human.
Yeah. That's right.
Things like that happen.
But yes, tonight's topic is.
Tom Petty.
Oh, he does something. It's a shame. It really is. Young guy too. I mean, you know, not that old. Well, you know, he's our age or whatever.
Yeah.
But still, I mean, you know, it was a shock. And what was funny. Well, it ain't funny, but I mean, what's kind of odd about it is I was just watching a movie the other day with him in it. About the postman. I don't know if you've seen it or not. It's about.
No.
Yeah, it's. I can't even think how I would describe it, but it's like the end of America happened, and there's a bunch of little colonies, you know, that are all over America, and they want to bring America back the way it should be. and there's one group that's like an army kind of group who wants to take over the whole thing, you know, and Kevin Costner plays this guy that believes in the old United States, and yeah, The Postman, that's what it's called, is the movie, The Postman.
Yeah.
Excellent
Okay,
movie.
I remember seeing it, but
Yeah.
I never watched. I never
But
watched it.
Tom Petty plays one of the guys. You know, he's like the president of one of these little colonies. You know, and Kevin Costner sees him. He goes,
Oh.
he says, "Oh, I know you. You're famous." He goes, "Well, I used to be." You know, you know, that kind of thing. But I thought it was kind of ironic. But yeah, movie he just played in. I mean, it's like, you know, he just you know, first time I actually seen him in a real movie. You know. Kind of ironic, and now he is, you know, he's passed away. It's kind of sad. So, yeah. But, I don't know. I'm sure later on somebody will come out and say he did a bunch of cocaine or something or whatever, who knows, but you know how that is. But,
you know. Oh, yeah, they got
because it was a heart attack thing, you know.
Or his drug use in the past is weakened his heart or whatever. You
exactly,
know. Some crap like that, you know.
Well, one of the good guys, though. Yeah.
We're just getting old, you know. That's just, that's the simple truth. You know, it's a simple fact of it. You know, I mean, I hate admitting it to myself.
Me too.
You know, because I still think that I still feel like I'm 25. But
I don't feel that young, but
if I go to move around, I know that I'm not 25 anymore.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly. Oh, crap. But anyway, yes, tonight's subject is UFO sightings, and if you know anybody that's had one or know of a story of somebody or you've had one yourself, we'd love to have you get in contact with us here. That number, of course, is 347-989-1008. Give us a call, give us your story. We'd love to talk to you about it and, you know, see what happens.
For sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
Absolutely.
And don't think, and don't be embarrassed or think that we might think that, you know, call you crazy or say, you know, don't think that for 1 minute, because I'll tell you what, I have seen some things. I have seen things that I still don't know what it was. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Then again, I have seen things that, you know, common sense and the big picture. I learned what it was.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Back in the early 90s, well, 1990 to be exact, 89 and 90, I was working for a company. I was driving a tanker. I was hauling black oil, any kind of black oil, fuel oil to the ships down in the LA harbor, or crude oil out of the oil fields, light, heavy crude, didn't matter, any kind of crude. Asphalt. I had wrap tanks. I had a truck trailer. 69 Peterbilt that had been retrofitted, came from the factory with a 335 Cummins and a 4-on-4, and they retrofitted it with an 8V92 silver 8V92 475 Detroit and a 13-speed.
Cool.
And that thing was a powerhouse. That was one of my favorite trucks I ever drove, and it was a 69.
Yeah.
A 69 Peterbilt. But it was such, you know, Peterbilts are such a good truck. They're well built.
Yeah.
That's the thing about especially the older model Peeps like that, the 60s and 70 models. They really constructed their cabs on conventional and cab overs both were really, really good.
All right.
But that truck, I could go all over the place. I mean, I hauled fuel oil on this particular run we had was coming out of Tonopah Airport up to Tonopah, Nevada.
Mm.
And well, when you go into Nevada refining, you have to go through the airport. It's the old airport, and one of the roads you go through get back to the refinery is just driving over. A lot of it's the runways and the tarmac for the airport.
Right.
Although all the planes every time I've ever been there, the planes were all in the hangars or somewhere else. There's nothing out on the open, nothing outside.
Gotcha.
It looks basically abandoned. You know?
Right.
But come to find out, well, to what I was talking. This one night I was up there, and I was I don't know, I was on my 4th or 5th run on that week, and late at night, and I was up there by myself. Usually we all had we'd run up there in a pack.
Right.
But this particular one run, I was all alone. There was nobody around, and I went in there, and while I was loading, I was standing on top of my truck, and I was loading. I started seeing these lights up in the sky. You know, the anti-collision lights. You know, the white flashing lights.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I can tell basically that they're military. They just have that military feel about it. You know.
Sure.
So after I got done loading everything and got everything situated, on my way out of there, I started seeing these things as I was driving out, and the landscape there, it's all smooth. The ground and the runway and the roads and all that stuff is all one level. There's no shoulder or anything. It's not built up or anything.
Right.
So, and I'm looking up in the sky at these flashing lights, and I'm seeing what it is, and I can tell they're communicating through lights. The light flashing, because it's not a steady strobe light. It's not a steady flashing strobe light. It was like, you know, Morse. They were sending like Morse code.
Uh-huh.
You know, basically, it wasn't Morse code, but it was like that.
Okay.
It was similar to that, similar type of
Dots and dashes. Yeah.
Later on, you know, it got me thinking. I was checking it out, going, wow, what in the world's going on here? And then they could pulse. I could see they could pulse. They could accelerate really fast, and then slow down to almost stop, and then accelerate again, and then almost come to a stop, and then accelerate again. And what's really made me think of, you know, UFOs, you know, and that what's the government hiding out here in the middle of nowhere?
Right.
And come to find out, I'm in the same zone as Area 51. Area 51 is just straight north there up this big, huge valley. It's like
right.
You can see for 50 miles to the other side.
Sure.
It's a down slope and an up slope on the other side, and you can see for at least 40 miles. I'll tell you that. You can see at least 40 miles. And anybody that's been out there in western Nevada, there's a lot of places like that.
Absolutely.
That one particular area right there going north on Highway 6, I think that's Highway 6. It's either Highway 6 or Highway 95.
Right.
I don't know. They both branch off right there by Coaldale Junction. There's a little town out there just north of Tonopah called Coaldale Junction, and they're splitting the highway.
Right.
And then there's another split in Tonopah. The highway splits again. But anyhow, get back to what you can see out there. You can see forever in daylight, but at nighttime it really opens up. You talk about big sky country.
Absolutely.
That is big sky country, you know.
Yep.
And you can see just so much. But you know, I thought it was military / extraterrestrial vehicles working together. You know, they were working. They had something going on.
Wow.
And this was just before Desert Storm. So they were developing what I found out what they were developing was the new communications.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And I asked my dad this. I asked my dad because my dad was a radioman in the Navy, and he was, you know, like I said, my dad was the one that taught me about everything. You know? Sure. And taught me not to believe anything you hear. Do your own investigating, do your own research on stuff, and you will find the truth if you dig far enough or deep enough and you pursue it. You'll find the truth.
Sure.
The truth is out there. But I asked him. I said, is it possible to send communications over a light beam, over a light wave? Can it be done? And he looked at me and he goes, "Who told you that?" And I went, "Nobody. It's just something I said, Dad, I said, nobody told me this. I said, I haven't been talking with anybody. I said, this has just been something that my own observation that I've made that I thought I wanted to ask you in person, you know, if communication could be transmit it, but you have to have a something to
get it.
specifically receive that frequency of light,
Sure.
that frequency of whatever, it has to be matched.
Right.
But they can do that. Yes, sure, they can do it. And it got me thinking, that's it. That's how they're doing it. That's what they're doing. They're developing some type of, and then sure enough, I mean, it wasn't 2 months. Right there at the end of 90 and going into 91, when Desert Storm started, and that's when, we went in there and kicked ass, and we caught them by surprise because they were set up to listen in on open frequency through UHF and VHF and megahertz and all that,
Right.
through through radio communication, and they're not using radios; they're using light. So that's how they caught them their pants down. They came in like that, and anyhow, that was my theory on that. And sure enough, I come to find out that's the truth.
Cool.
That's what was really going on. But that was something that I seen it and wondered about it and thought, my gosh, is this what is really going on around us and how much of it is what we're doing, because it led back to going back to the SR-71 project.
Yeah.
The SR-71 flew for 30 years before people even knew it existed.
Yeah.
I knew people who were based. I had friends who were in the Navy that were stationed on Guam, and Guam was one of the refueling stations for one of the stopping points for the SR-71 back during the Vietnam War.
Cool.
And they would fly them in. He said these jets would fly in at night. He said he could tell that whatever it was not one of our fighters.
Right.
He said this thing had a sound to it that was unbelievable.
Sure.
And he said, and then at nighttime it would take off. He said, and you could tell. He said we could see that the engines were, 15, 20 feet apart. He said we don't have what kind of planes do we have where the engines are that far apart and full afterburner? They got full afterburner, He said, because you couldn't really see it, silhouette or anything, totally black sky, moonless night and everything, They'd come in and take off under the cover of night. And so, that was back in the 70s.
Right.
So I knew, that what we had going on. And then the Paved Blue project, which turned out to be the F-117 stealth fighter project.
Mm-hmm.
That was going on. That was going on back in the 80s and the 90s. They had that happening too, and that was right when they started, opening up about it.
Right.
What had happened was they had a crash, a jet fighter crashed in the Kern River Canyon back in I'm going to say it was 89 or 90, 88, 89, 90, somewhere in that. I don't actually remember the exact year.
Right.
It was right in that time period. And there was too many people who seen it. This jet didn't look like a regular jet, and it had lost total flight control, and it had spun out of control and crashed into the Kern River Canyon. Well, there's a lot of people that fish and travel and camp around there, and there was people up there camping, and they seen it. They seen this thing happen.
Wow.
And they came in and tried covering it up, but
Right.
I think it was too late, so they had to do something. And that's when we found out about the F-117 fighter. That's when they came out and they divulged it. That was in 1980. I'm going to say 88. It could have been 89. But the thing is that the Paved Blue project, they've been flying that for 11 years. They started it in 1977 or 76 or 77, 11 or 12 years. They'd already been flying it. know, it had been around, and they've been developing it for that many years, and nobody even knew it was of its existence. They didn't even know it was around.
Right.
You know, so you know, we have a lot of things like that. But then again, I think that a lot of the technology that we have are reverse engineered. Is reverse engineering from some of the crash sites of UFOs from around the world, not just Roswell, but there's been other ones too. There's been ones in there've been a couple here in the U.S. One in Texas, one in New Mexico, and one up in Montana or on the border of Montana and Canada. One happened up in Canada, and then there was one or two that happened in the outbacks of Russia. And Russia's it's unbelievable the vast expanse of open area in Russia. It's just crazy.
Right.
I mean, you can look at it on a map, but to really fathom it in your head, to get your head wrapped around how much land that is, it's millions and millions of square miles of nothingness.
Right.
You know, in very, very sparsely populated areas. You know, and there's been a couple of crashed UFOs or unidentified craft that crashed, and there, whether they were ours or theirs, don't really know. But some of the technology, some of it was theirs, and of theirs, we've taken that what they collected, and they reverse engineered a lot of that components and stuff. You know, I'm a firm believer of that. That's where we get our night vision goggles and stuff like that. And,
sure. Fiber optics, all kind of stuff. Yeah.
Fiber optics for sure, and microchips, circuitry.
Right.
You know, that kind of stuff. That's all reverse engineered from stuff that they found other places. You know, and I even believe that LED lighting is reverse engineered lighting from that, because some of the things that I have seen. Now, this was one or two of the sightings that I've seen when I was younger were of something that was not regular incandescent lighting. You know?
Right.
It was more. I compare it. The only thing I can compare it to is LED lighting.
Huh.
And this is long before LED lighting ever came out.
Sure. Yeah.
You know, yeah, you know what I'm talking about. You know, back in the, you know, everything up until the 1990s, the late 90s, early 2000s, did LED even come out?
Right.
LED didn't come out available on vehicles until 1997. It was in 97 that it was that it became standard issued equipment on tractor trailer trucks. I know this because that's where the first LEDs that came out were on the trailers that I used to pull, and I was fascinated by those little, you know, and the light bulbs, the LED light bulbs when they first came out cost like $200.
Yeah, they're pretty expensive. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
It was unbelievable, but they last forever. They would never burn out. They said that the one thing about them is that they would never burn out. But we got a whole bunch of new trailers in, and with the trailers, we got a package of these LED replacement bulbs. You know, just in case in case one happens to burn out, you got replacement for it. And that whole bag, I want to say that whole bag cost like $3,000. There's $3,000 worth of lights in that thing, and that was in 1997. I think it was 97, 96, somewhere on there.
Wow.
But anyhow, but you go before that, you go back into the 70s, 60s, and 70s. For sure, we didn't have no LED lighting. We didn't have any lighting like that whatsoever. And a lot of these craft that I've seen mom seen one in San Diego that she swore that was it. She went outside to take the trash out one night, like 10 o'clock at night, and she, for some reason, she just felt something, and she looked up, and there was a cigar-shaped object in the sky straight above her that had these rotating red lights that went all the way around the outside of it.
Oh.
And she was like, and she freaked out. And she had, she was trying to get back in the house, and but yet still wanted to see what it was, but still it scared her, and I'll never forget her description of the lights. She said the lights were so brilliant that she could tell that it wasn't something of anything that she'd ever seen in the night sky before.
Right.
And so, and then once I seen them, and then once I talked to other people who had had sightings, they all said the same thing, that these things had some kind of lighting about them that was just, it wasn't natural. It wasn't any kind of natural lighting that we knew anything about.
Right.
So, anyhow, and today, we got all these. Oh my gosh, we got light kits now that you can get that are out of this world. LEDs and neons that you can put in on a vehicle now, or you can trick it out, man. It's just been over the past few years to come out, and everybody is so nonchalant about it. They just think, oh, well, it's just another type of lighting. Hey, how can you take one bulb and have 5 different colors come out of one bulb? How can you do that?
Right.
How do you do that?
Yeah.
It's just, or better than that. Okay, how about the ones where okay, I got pictures of, I love good set of lights, man. I love good lighting. I'm ate up with LED lights. I love it. But these new sets they got, you got the amber lights that go up and down in front of the breathers, and then you got the red lights behind the breathers.
Right.
And then under the cab and down the skirt, right in front of the fenders.
Right.
You got another set of lights go down there, and then lights under the bottom of the bumper, and then
under the tanks,
headlights. You got lighting around it. Got LED lighting around it and all that.
Yeah.
But you flip a switch, and the amber lights and the red lights, all the amber and red all turn green.
Huh.
How can you do that?
I don't
How
know.
can you take a light and change it from a natural color to a solid green color, or purple, or blue, or whatever, and you see them all over the place. I see it. These lights, these trucks, and the truck shows nowadays are just, the money that people put into this stuff is just crazy. But you can go up there. This one show truck I seen, it looks like it shoots lightning bolts out from underneath it.
Huh.
It actually looks like it's shooting lightning bolts out. And
Wow.
It's done with some type of LED lighting going through a prism and then hitting another optic deal.
Kind of
like
like a mirror.
prism, but it's another glass optic lens that shoots it out and sprays it out into looking like lightning bolts, like multiple lightning bolts.
Wow.
Not just one, but like a whole bunch of them.
Cool.
If you've ever seen one, I'll tell you what, the video of Tony Justice, Brothers of the Highway, there's a video. Check it out. It's on YouTube.
I'll write it down.
But check it out. And there's a truck in the truck parade. One of the trucks in the truck parade has got the lighting underneath it. It looks like it's shooting lightning bolts out from underneath it.
Huh.
It catches for just a couple of seconds. It's really quick, but you can see it. And it's like, whoa, what was that? I've gone back and checked it out and stopped it and reversed it and watched it and actually stopped it. I finally got it to stop. I got it still at that precise time with the light was spreading out, and you cannot. I still can't figure out how they do it. I really cannot figure out how it's done. But to see it, it will blow your mind, buddy.
Sure.
You'll think that is alien technology. You will honestly think that that's alien technology. And whoever designed that, this one truck, this one guy, he came up with his own design of this. You know, and obviously somebody's got the patent on that deal. You know,
sure.
Because
yeah.
it's one of the kind I've seen all kinds of light shows and ground effect lighting and stuff that just blow your mind, just wild stuff. This blows my mind. I cannot figure out how it works.
Yeah. Lee says, what about holographic images? Yeah. Yeah. Lee Stacy, she wants to know, what about holographic images? You know, basically the same kind of thing.
Oh, that too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Same. You're talking in something that a projector, you know, that can project an image. You know, all you have to have is a projector.
Yeah.
You know? You can have, you know, that can, all that sci-fi stuff you see on Star Wars that, you know, we've been amazed by since 1977. You know, back then, has come to life now.
Right.
They can actually do holographic imaging, and they've done it. They did a concert. Well, it was been a few years now, more than a few, probably about 10 years ago. I'm gonna think of, man, gosh, it's been that long ago. But Tupac Shakur, the rapper Tupac,
yeah,
they did a tribute to him and brought him out on stage through a holographic imagery.
They did that with Michael Jackson too.
And buddy, let me tell you,
yeah,
they did it with Michael Jackson too. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, and it looks like they're standing right there.
Absolutely. Yeah,
it looks. I mean, I'm like, whoa,
pretty awesome what they do with that stuff.
Part
Yeah.
of the optics. Yeah, we could do some wild holographic imaging, man. That's the next new big thing, you know. Gonna be that, you know.
Yeah, I have to agree with you, Andre. Andre says Star Wars made a big mistake.
To be used as real.
Yeah.
Now, real-time communication, you know, where instead of talking through a screen, you're talking through an actual image in the air.
Sure.
You know, there's no screens are going to become a thing of the past.
Yeah, a lot of people think too that, you know, a lot of these UFOs that people are spotting are also holographic images, you know, especially in today's society. You know, now I'm going to tell you what I seen back in the 70s was not, or even in the 60s, you know, when I was really young, they were definitely not holographic, but they were just too damn close, you know what I'm saying? But today's stuff, I don't know, you know.
Yeah.
Very possible.
Yep. It could. I mean, some of it could be, but not all of it. Not all of it, because I'm telling you, I've seen one night that I've never been able to fully wrap my head around this, Clarence, and it kind of bothers me in a way because I really don't know what it was I seen. Number one, and number two, why did I see it? Why was it that I was the one that seen this?
Right.
And because I was, well, you know that place where I told you where I met the entities, my story of meeting the entities.
Yes.
And all that stuff, you know, that place where we used to go to.
Right.
Well, it got me thinking about things, you know, and there was a group of us drivers. There was about, I think, 5 of us, or 4 or 5. I think it was 5 of us. Come to think of it, but we had all made our own observation out there in this area, and I'm going to tell you something, folks. We hear on Ancient Aliens and the TV show and all that the Nazca lines and the Nazca they call it petroglyphs.
Right.
Is that petroglyphs or landform images?
Yeah, petroglyphs.
All that stuff is down there in South America, and that's all visual, and that's I mean, it's something that is fascinating to look at. I'm not taking anything away from that at
Right.
all. But we have the same type places right here in North America that some kind of it's hard to back again. Some kind of cataclysmic event took place that absolutely wiped out any trace of civilization, of an advanced civilization that existed here in North America long ago.
Mm.
There was still telltale evidence here and there, but this one zone in particular, it got me thinking about this, man. And I remembered, and once I remembered, I'm like, oh man, I got to talk about this, because where we go to, okay, where I came in contact with these things, these entities, and these things from the ancient past, from our ancient past that have been here long, long ago,
Mm-hmm.
that are from they're earth dwellers, but they exist in another dimension. That's where this happened at. That's where this area is at. But this one lease that we had to go to, we had to go up this mountain, and literally it's a mountain road getting up there. Man, I'll tell you what, it's a good thing that we're empty going up, because it's a 7 to 8% grade going up there on a dirt road, and it's a switchback.
Oh.
That more than winds around. It's got two switchbacks in it going up the side of this mountain. But there's this one area where we stop at, and everybody stops and checks their brakes and everything, because coming down off there from that point down, it's straight downhill for like 2.5 miles,
Right.
with no place to level off or nothing. So we stop and adjust all our brakes and everything, and make sure everything's up to snuff, and we're all good to go.
Mm-hmm.
And that one zone right there, that one area, you walk over to this opening, and it's a gap between two peaks, is where you're up there, probably I'm gonna say somewhere around 1,800 to 2,000 feet up
Okay.
the side of this mountain. Probably at least, I'd say at least 1,800 feet. Up there, I noticed down the middle of this canyon, and it's all on a canyon. We're on a mountain slope on the north side of this canyon, and that slope, that side of the creek, there's a creek down below, and the north side of the creek is all barren and desolate and desert, and I mean, the mountain is just got grass on it, and that's it, and it's all dead, and it's
Right.
all yellow, that side of the mountain. The south side of that creek is green and luscious, and the mountains to the side are green and luscious and full of trees and vegetation and just absolutely beautiful.
Huh.
And from up there, you have this panoramic view where you go, unless you have time to stop and look at it, nobody's going to notice this, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But I noticed it. I went, "What in the world we got going on here, folks? What's going on here?" And then on the other side, across on the other side, there's this mountain that looks like it had been shaved off. The top of it had been shaved off, and it was a flat, looked like an airport. And it's right there, wide open for you to see. And one of our drivers was the one that I had noticed it, but I didn't really think too much about it because it's sitting on a slant. But hell, we're on the damn San Andreas Fault, for crying out loud.
Right. Yeah.
We're about 5 miles off the San Andreas Fault. But this top of this flat land sleeping area is tilted to the side. And I got thinking, I thought, shit, just the movement of the plate, the fault line, moving could cause that to tilt that far, and I thought, well, man, how much more is here, and I got to looking, and buddy, let me tell you something. This is the one here that blew my mind. Once I seen this, it literally made me tremble. It made me go, holy shit! What is that?
Right.
And what it is, this is, okay. I had just been. I've always been. I've always been studying all these megalithic places around the world.
Sure.
And at that time, I was just coming into learning about the ley lines and about the lines of energy and how they affect and how they work. Well, some of them are visible and some are not visible.
Right.
Some of the lines, some of these lines that exist are converging points on the Nazca Plain, where a lot of these lines come together in one spot, and they come from directions, and the people there will tell you those lines go for miles. But that line doesn't stop at that hilltop there. It's just that line. If you go over top that hill, that line keeps going through the desert on and out that way.
Sure.
And I'm like, whoa, shit. So I started learning about this, Well, I was standing up there looking down there at the difference in the well, not just the topography, but the difference in the landscape and how drastically it was different from the north side to the south side.
Right.
And right there, lo and behold, right there on the valley floor is a perfect ley line.
Wow.
That comes from as far to the left as you can see, looking out that way, looking to the left. You can see it in the ground coming across, and then there's a peak there, right there, where it disappears for a while. Then you look down, you stand up on the edge, you look down there, you can see where the line keeps going in a straight line, and you can see where over the millennia, the side of this mountain has eroded down, and these erosion layers, these erosion ridges, go right down and flow right over top of this line, and the line keeps going. You can see there'll be one ridge come down, one place of erosion that comes down.
Right.
The line keeps going. You look past there's another ridge. The line keeps going past that. You look at another ridge. There's a line keeps going past that. And I'm like,
wow,
holy cow! This is some kind of energy. And at that point,
oh, and at that point we get cut off. Oh, lordy, lordy, lordy. Well, let's try this again. What was it, 3 strikes and you're out? Isn't that how it works?
Your host pin. When finished, press the pound key.
To start your show now, press 1.
Since it appears you're calling back into a live show, we are reconnecting you now.
the places that around the world, there's a perfect example of one is Red Rocks.
Right.
In Colorado. That's another magical place there, man. And a lot of places in Colorado, not just Red Rocks, but many other places. So Colorado is definitely a hot spot for these zones too. But there's zones all over the world. The Giza Plateau is said to have been one of these areas of strong Earth energy, Earth-emitting energy. But it emits at a frequency that can't be measured by our devices today. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We can measure it, but we can measure it, but we don't know how to harness it. we don't know how to, because we don't have anything that works at those levels of frequency,
Right.
at those high levels, and especially at those volumes.
Sure.
There's places that, Michael Tellinger speaks of areas of, that whole area of South Africa has got all those circles, the corral circles, so they call them. Mainstream archaeologists call them corrals, cattle corrals, but they're not. They're actually places where the energy emits from the earth, and it's some form of ancient technology that we lost along through the millennia of time. We lost, and through that, and through the powers that be destroying everything, the Spanish Inquisition and
right.
the Persians, what the Christians didn't destroy, the Persians destroyed. So we lost a lot of valuable information and a lot of valuable stuff that to help us to work with the natural earth energies and stuff like that.
Right.
But that all relates back to it all has to do with these places around the world, and when you find when you stumble across one like I did, and then you start putting all these things together, all those things that happened there.
Sure.
And I've seen all those things that went on there. I'm like, wow, this is really a hot spot here in North America. And then then you talk to people who live there.
Right.
It wasn't until I actually talked to my partner's wife. My partner on the truck, his wife was born and raised up there in the Guyana, and she spoke about the lights, following the lights at nighttime.
Wow.
They go chase the blue and green lights, and there were little lights, orbs of light that the kids didn't think nothing of it, because they were of good energy. So it just if it's negative energy, it'll scare you away.
Huh. Cool.
If you have negativeness about you,
Right.
it's like what I told, like what I said, the drivers that would go out there in that zone late at night would go out there to that area, to that lease, that particular lease.
Mm-hmm.
There were drivers that would said that if they ever had to go back out there, that they were going to quit their job. They would never go back out there ever again.
Didn't like that.
Don't ever send me back out there. Yeah. And that got me thinking. You got my curiosity aroused.
Right.
What was going on? What's happening out there? What's making these grown men, turn into little wussies?
Right.
These big guys. These big guys, and these guys carried guns. They didn't mess around, and it scared the crap out of them enough that they didn't want to go back out there.
Wow.
They refused to go back out there.
Wow. That's crazy.
So, yeah. So I wanted to, that's what got me interested. That got my curiosity fired up. Wanting to see. And so when I got my first chance to check it out, I did, and that's when the crazy stuff happened.
Right.
Because these things, and that's what it is. I think that some of these craft that we see are changing, or they're transitioning from one dimension to another, or they're just coming through our realm for just a short time, going from one dimension to another,
right,
interdimensionally changing, and so they'll come through here for a little bit and then they'll pass on. I think that's sometimes what happens. But in order for them to be visual here, they have to vibrate at a certain frequency.
Sure.
For them to change dimensions, they have to vibrate at different frequencies too. For them to make that transition, they have to. Well, Nikola Tesla said, that if you think about the secrets of the universe, they think of frequency, vibration, and sound. And those three things there are the keys to the universe.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
so that's all about that. You know, about changing your amplitude. You know, to where you vibrate at another frequency. You
Exactly.
know, that's what makes us able to. Some people are able to see these things, and other people will be out there and I didn't see nothing. You know,
Right.
what are you talking about? I didn't see nothing. Because they don't vibrate. They
Yeah.
can't vibrate at that. Their
Right.
existence won't
Right.
let their bodies vibrate above their
Right.
normal frequency. You know.
Yep. Not
So,
tuned in. Yeah.
it's just a theory of mine. It's just
Oh, hey.
as a complete theory. I'm not saying that's the way it is or that's what it is.
Right.
That's just something that it's been my observation to
Cool.
see. Because, like I said, some people see these things and some people don't.
Right.
And like when I seen the entities, when I seen them, I was turning my head. I was walking and turning in a circle at the same time and looking around and saying, "Okay, if you're out here, show me where you are.
Right.
Show me, show me what you are. Show me, give me some kind of sign." And that's when I turned and blinked. And as I turned and blinked, I've seen these shadows. I caught a glimpse of a shadow. So I turned and blinked again, and whoa, wait, what do we got there? I turned and blinked again, and I started counting.
Huh.
There was 1, 2, 3, 4. There was 9 of them
Wow.
standing in a semicircle around me.
Right.
And they said, "You called us. You called us. Now, what do you want?" And they once I was able to see them, and once I vibrated at their frequency, they became visible.
Sure.
And I was like, whoa! And these things were tall, dude. Let me tell you, they were at least 8 feet tall.
Yeah.
At least 8 feet.
Tall whites.
The shortest one, and they were draped in some kind of. They had some type of a cape or some type of a cape-like gown or something over, or a poncho or something like that. Some type of thing around them, And the only thing that was visible was you could see the outline of their basic outline of their body, but you couldn't see their arms or their legs. And all you could see was their head. All I could see was their head, and not really anything I could see of their head. I could just see that image on top of their shoulders.
Right.
It wasn't. I couldn't pick them out in a lineup. If I was to see them in a lineup, there's no way. Because it just not. They weren't visible that way. They were more. It was the presence. It was the presence, and then the telepathic communication was what when I was able to hear them perfectly clear, and yet they're not talking. And I was talking with them, and I wasn't talking. I was using at first. I was using thought. Well, I'll tell you about. At first, I was talking, and then it went. But then I stopped talking, and they could hear what I was saying. They could understand what I was thinking, and we was communicating completely telepathically at that point. And it was one of the chiefs. It was one of the Hopi chiefs that I seen on an interview on one of the Ancient Alien shows or one of those. He was from Dulce, New Mexico, and that's the hot spot. And that's where he said that he came in contact with the entities of the world, and that when he talked with them, they talked without speaking. They talked, but yet he could understand them just as clear as us talking here,
Right.
in a conversation between us. That's why I was like, yes, I've been there. I know, yes, for a fact, 100%, yes. And you know, at first I thought that what I was dealing with was some type of extraterrestrial thing.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was something that was off of Earth. I thought these were aliens or some type of something that wasn't from Earth. Well, come to find out that they are here. They have been here all along.
Right.
And they are watching. They are watching what we're doing, and they're
Wow.
they're pessimistic. Some of them are optimistic about mankind, but most of them and the main dude, the main guy that I was talking with, are very pessimistic about the human race.
Wow.
That even not too sure that we can pull ourselves out.
Right.
But I think that we can.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I more than think we can. I know we can, but it's going to require us changing our way of thinking.
Oh, totally.
And I don't know if we're ready for that.
Yeah.
That's the part that I don't know if we're ready for or not. I don't know if the human race today on this planet, today, here and now, is ready for the diversion, the opening, if you will, or
Right.
divulging the truth of what is all in all, and how we are controlled through religion and all this stuff. You know, although we need religion, you know, that's the thing. We need to have religion. We need to be not so much religion. We need to be spiritual. We need to be spiritual beings. That's what we are. We're
Right.
based on that.
Right.
And we have to have that, and we have to separate our minds from what we're programmed as being. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And that's the hard part there.
Right.
That's getting people to understand that, you know, because a lot of people are going, you know, especially the hardliners, you know, they're not going to want to change or.
Oh boy. I don't think it likes you, Tim. Okay, let's try this again. Come on.
Next pin. When finished, press the pound key.
Yeah, something's got to change.
To start your show now, press 1. To hear important instructions, press.
Since it appears you're calling back into a live show, we are reconnecting you now.
Yeah.
Then what is truth? You know, where is the truth at? If that's not truth, then where is the truth?
Right.
Well, the truth is there. We've been deceived. We have been deceived through the course of time, and over the last 2,000 years, we've been lied to, and we've been controlled by these things that we shouldn't be controlled by.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Exactly.
But to get people to break away from their traditional mentality, to open up to another way, is like, well, if that's not right, how can we tell that what you're saying is right?
Right.
If what we're being told, what we've been taught for the last 2,000 years isn't right, how can we believe that what you are saying, what I am saying is right?
Yep.
And I'll tell you this, what I am saying isn't right. What I am saying is true. And what I'm saying will guide you into the light.
You
I'm
go.
not going to tell you something that's going to. I'm not going to tell you something or try to trick somebody or bamboozle anybody or give them some type of a line of crap that another line of crap that we've been being taught. These are things that come from truth within our hearts. That once you open up to this, the manifestations and the growth that you will find inside yourself, once you open yourself up to these frequencies and you open up yourself to these vibrations and you change your way of thinking to this new way of spiritual guidance, you will know that you're right.
Yeah.
And there won't be anyone telling you. You won't have to have anyone telling you what is right. You will automatically know what is right and follow your heart.
Exactly.
And you will know what is right. And these are things that go down right down to the writings, to the manuscripts, through the Sumerian texts. You know,
right.
Or where the first original stories of the Bible come from. They were not written in Hebrew. They were not written in Greek. They were not written in any form of regular writing that we know about today. They were written in cuneiform writings on the Sumerian tablets. Is where all the stories, well, 90% of the Old Testament and almost all of the New Testament come from those writings. And if I'm lying, I'm dying.
No, I hear you.
Study it and look into it.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, I'm not lying about this. You know that this is where the Bible. If people want to know where the Bible comes from, there. If you want to know how the Bible is, where the Bible was written and where it came from the beginning. That was written over 5,000 years ago. That these cuneiform, they really don't know how old they are.
Right. Yeah.
And I shouldn't say that. They're probably close. I've always said they were 8,000 to 10,000 years old.
Yeah, we don't know.
There's no way they're clay tablets that really can't be carbon dated.
Right.
Because they're now stone.
Yeah.
They've metamorphosized into a type of stone where they cannot get in it. They can take a sample off of one corner that will give you one date, and take a sample off another corner, and it will be off by as much as 2,000 to 3,000 years.
Right.
The same sample. Now, come on. You know, how can you get any certainty about what how old that is?
Exactly.
It's like the pyramids. You know, mainstream archaeologists, the pyramids are 4,500 years old. They were built by one of the guys, one of the pharaohs. And the thing is, the pyramids were not built by the Egyptians at all. The pyramids were there long before the first Egyptian dynasty ever took place. Actually,
you're thinking of
back to the time of, but the Egyptians called Zep Tepe.
Yeah.
The enlightened time, the time of enlightenment.
Right.
That is before. That's where Horus and Isis and all the gods come from.
Sure.
All the main dudes. Anubis, Horus, all the Egyptian gods came from that original time.
Right.
What's called Zep Tepe.
Right.
And because I just want I just say these things and speak these so that you know that I'm not some kind of new age hippie that's coming into some wild form of reality, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Check it out, It's not like that. That I have been doing my research. I have done research all my whole life.
Cool.
And if there's anything that I can do to leave a mark in this world, it's to help my fellow human beings discover enlightenment.
There you go. Cool. Hey, we have a couple of callers here with us, Tim.
That's my goal.
Cool. Yeah, I think we have Doc and Lee here hanging out here. Let's grab. Let's grab Doc. Hello, Doc. How are you, sir?
Oh, pretty good.
Cool.
Yeah, I've been listening for a while.
Cool. I've had this thing.
Well,
I've had this on the other side, so.
Or something, I don't know.
And let's grab Lee here while we're at it. I said, let's grab Lee here while we're at it. Hello, Lee. How are you, dear?
Hello.
Cool.
Hello, Lee.
Hey, the whole gang's here.
Riley.
Good deal.
And hi, Doc. Hi.
Hi. I put my cell phone on the charger this morning, and the plug decided to fall out of it. And
Oh
I
boy.
had to quick recharge it again. So,
I hate when that happens.
Yeah, me too.
So Tim, you know, the thing is, look at how many people didn't have that book. You look at my ancestors, for instance, didn't have that book. But yet there are times that they knew how to live, you know, how to take care of each other, how to take care of the land, how to take care of animals, you know.
Right.
You know,
Right.
a lot of religions are racist. I mean, truthfully,
very much so.
because they say you got to know this church is true, you know. But maybe you believe something else, and they're not gonna welcome you in because you believe something else, you know.
Right,
I've
right.
been there.
I know that's always been my fear of.
That's why I don't bother with
speaking
religion.
out to people, because you've got so many you have so many naysayers that say no, that can't be, that can't be this, can't be that, can't be that. But like you said, now the North American Indian tribes,
It's
they
common
existed
sense.
for thousands. They existed for thousands of years harmoniously.
Yeah.
Now, how did they do this? How did they do this? Because there was one person out of each generation in their tribe. One person, and sometimes two or three. It wasn't just one. There was many, but one would be picked. One would be picked to become the next
and
shaman.
You said that man now has to be enlightened. Well, how man needs to be enlightened is to go back and look at that past. Look
Right.
at how to take care of this world. How to
Right.
what I get upset is people don't understand how miraculous we are and this planet is.
That's because they don't
you know,
care.
They just go through everyday humdrum,
Yeah.
and it's truly miraculous. This little blue ball with rainbows, I would say, and it's so simple. I mean, to take care of the animals, to take care of each other, to take care of this world. It's not complicated, you know.
No,
But
it's
killing
I
each
know,
other-
it's all about the money, Lee. It's all about the money and the monetary gain. It's all about being first and number one.
Oh yeah.
It has nothing to do with life.
It's about a
Yeah.
green piece of paper.
Yep,
A
exactly.
green piece of paper,
Exactly right.
you
Yeah.
know.
It has nothing to do with peace and
Yes,
freedom
yes, it is.
and living life to the full.
And
It has nothing to do with
see,
that.
the Indians, the North, I love using the North American Indian tribes for example because they existed harmoniously for thousands of years. Well,
Well, you
we'll
look
say
at that
hundreds of years
Yeah.
at least.
Those are thousands of years.
Absolutely.
You know?
Yep.
Thousands of years.
Right, but they had no money. They had no form of currency
Well, they
whatsoever.
didn't own the land. That was a concept they didn't recognize.
Yeah, it
You know,
didn't
you don't
belong to
own the
anybody.
earth.
Right.
How can you own the earth? You know?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, you be one with the earth. You become one with the earth, and you live with the earth. You don't own the earth. You don't own that land.
Yeah.
You don't own that. You know.
And that's how, you know, we're overpopulating this little blue ball, and you know, is man going to pull his head out?
No.
I don't know.
It's going to get a lot worse, I think, before
I
it
don't
gets any
think so.
better. Well, there's going to have to be some kind of a
It's
cleanup.
gonna get worse until Mother Nature decides to
Yep.
hammer us.
Yep, that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. There's got to
Well,
be.
it's sad that it's going to take that to get man to change.
Well, it's just like back in Noah's day.
You know,
You know, think about it. They're going to have to be humiliated. I mean, seriously, they're going to have to be slapped. They're going to have to be, you know.
that didn't even work. Even though that happened, it still didn't work.
Well, no, I mean, it did, but not now. I mean, you're talking how many thousands of years ago. You know, it's going to have to be done more than just then. You know what I'm saying? I mean, back when they started over, you know, supposedly.
And not just that, but it's not just
We
it's
start
not just
over,
for
we
us
start
here.
over, we start over, and it's still the same thing's still going to happen.
This is true.
But
Yes.
the the main thing that I feel and the main thing that I see happening is that it's not stuff that just affects us here in North America. This is worldwide.
Well, yeah, absolutely.
How can we get the whole world onto the same page?
Well, that's just it.
You know, basically, it's not the only thing that I can say could happen is some type of a celestial event take place where everybody is.
Well, if a big mothership showed up in our sky, believe me, everybody would be like.
There would be no.
Well, look what happened to the dinosaurs.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think that's going to happen again. I really do.
And
I think humanity is going to learn a very valuable lesson. You know.
I think that it was the human inhabitants that colonized Earth that were the ones that extincted the dinosaurs. They got rid of them because they were a threat. I mean, outright threat. You know, how do you get rid of a threat? Well, you get rid of them. You
well,
do away
if
with them.
humans were giants,
I don't know about that.
Well, there were humans. Now, I have been coming across more and more of these sightings of people that are finding graves of skeletons that are anywhere from 7 feet tall to 23 feet tall.
Hmm.
Whether or not how real they are and which ones are photographed or photoshopped or whatever,
Right.
and who's lying and who's telling the truth, I don't believe in all, but some of them I do believe, and I do believe that there were giants among us, back in the beginning, because the people in charge, the ones that were in charge, the gods with the little g, the ones that created human,
Nephilim?
the colonizers of Earth, the original colonizers of Earth, the human colonizers here, that started this magnificent race that we have going on today, came from somewhere else in the universe, somewhere else, another planet, and they came here, and they just wanted to make this, make this the place, and not only here,
Well,
but Mars.
Anunnaki say the first humans were made to mine gold. I mean,
Well, that's according to Mesopotamian. That's all.
That's the story of the Anunnaki.
Yeah.
Now that's the story of the Anunnaki, and they were the ones that started the slave that they produced the slave labor, the slave labor.
It depends on what you read, though.
Only ones. Well, they were the only ones, though.
You got to be careful with that because.
Zechariah.
Yeah, I'm gonna say you got to be careful with that because it depends on what you read and who wrote it. That's the key to this. You know,
Right.
You can't. Yeah,
Well, exactly.
Interpretation is a dime a dozen.
He said bottom line. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But Zechariah Sitchin and all his stuff, he said bottom line that the Anunnaki are the ones that started human race here on Earth.
Right.
And that is so far, that is not true at all. Because totally independent of the Anunnaki, you had the Hindu, the Hindu Shivas and all the gods of the Hindus that raised up completely separate from the Anunnaki.
Now,
They were not part.
Look at us, how each one of us are different. So that just goes to show that, if I believe there are other species, in the universe. So there's got to be different, mind-boggling different, just like we are.
Right.
Right.
So
Absolutely.
You probably had giants. You probably had short graves. I mean,
I agree.
it's probably, well.
But here's a really crazy
The
thing.
Egyptian,
Here's a really crazy thing, though. Now, there's two different Anunnaki races, if that's what you want to go with. You had the one from Mesopotamia, and you had the one from the Hopi. Both with the same name, but two totally different entities. So,
It's true.
you know,
It's true.
what do
The
you believe?
Anunnaki and the Anasazi.
That guy's name is
Hello, Brian.
my hoodie, the Hopi guy.
Is what?
The guy
Is
that you were
what?
talking about, the Hopi guy, his name is Clifford Mahudi.
Oh,
Oh,
that's right.
cool.
Moody.
There you go.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
There you go.
He's the chief. He's the Hopi
Yeah.
chief.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, I mean,
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
same name, two different tribes, you know?
Well, there you can go look up his YouTube videos if anybody is interested.
Oh,
yeah,
that'd be cool. You'll have to send me a link to that or something.
because
Yeah.
some people are going to have experiences. They're going to come across these entities, and they're going to think that they're crazy, and they're going to be afraid to speak out. Because like I was, because when I first had my encounter, I wanted to tell everybody, and as soon as I did, everybody thought that I had lost my mind. They thought that I had went over the edge.
You know, what you
Yep.
said about being open or your energy,
Totally.
and I think you're absolutely right, because if you're I mean, not scared, but I mean, if you're how would you say, you're uneasy about me or open to these entities or other aliens or
Right.
then they're not gonna bother you. I
Right.
don't think.
No, absolutely not.
But if you're open to it, then they're gonna be drawn to you because
If
of your
Yeah.
energy.
Yeah, I guarantee if you go out looking for them, you will find them.
Yeah.
Be prepared. Be prepared, because I'm telling you something. It will
No, I'm not-
scare the living
not-
crap out of you.
No, I'm not going
It
to
will
look.
scare.
Yeah.
I ain't kidding you. They tested me. See, Lee. When I told them that I had no fear, that I was able to stand in the light of the day or the light of the night, that I had no fear in my heart. The largest one came right up to me and came up close enough to where I could feel his breath. Told me, you will be. You will be. And what he meant was, I will be scared. I will be scared
Brian.
beyond my wildest belief.
Doing good, buddy. Thank you.
Beyond my wildest dreams.
That would make us pass out that we don't know. There's so much out there. We're just babies. To me, we're just babies.
Oh, yeah,
we don't know.
Absolutely. We have no clue.
Right.
Yeah.
I guarantee there is so much more to learn that I feel like even though it's been over the last 25 years that I've been on this research and doing this and been in contact with these entities, that there is oh God. I forgot what I was going to say now. I forgot where I was at.
We were talking
Jim
about,
forgot where he's at.
Man,
How could you forget?
would probably, like I said, we're so, to me, we're infantile. We don't really know because we're stuck on Earth.
The amount that I know, the amount that I've learned, and the amount that I've been researched is just the tip of the iceberg. But there is 1,000 times more of what I have come across to learn.
Yeah.
And I've been learning. I have been learning to this. I've been opening myself up to it. I have been changing my heart.
You were talking about the ley lines. Well, I work for a roads department, and a guy was telling me he's Navajo and he's very traditional, and he said they were out in the middle of nowhere in New Mexico, and they were out there surveying, and they come across these ancient solstice ley lines of our people. And he said that, like you were talking about the energy in these ley lines, he said their equipment wouldn't even work when they were on these lines.
Oh, because of the energy.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I've talked to people who have been around some of these energy areas, and their GPS on their phone or their handheld GPS devices will quit working.
And
they'll
he
look like
said
they're working.
these
They'll look like they're
lines
operating.
are still in line with the sun and everything. He said he said he could really feel the energy and they affected him, you know.
Yes. You can. That's where, and all the people that we talk to here on this program, and all the people listening, most of us are of the same. There are a few trolls among us, but not many. And I don't want to single them out. I don't want to single anybody out that way. I don't want to make fun of nobody or make no threats like that at all. But what I would like to do is to let people know that you can go to these places. You can go to these shops and buy a small crystal, any kind of crystal. It doesn't matter what kind of quartz. I use quartz because quartz is the most abundant and the cheapest. You can get a quartz crystal for just a couple bucks in the right place. You know.
Dig it up for free.
Hold that crystal in your hand. And when you go visit Sedona, Arizona, and the whole area around Prescott, Arizona, and Sedona, and all that whole valley area down there, and you hold that crystal in your hand, and tell me that you cannot feel it. And I'll tell you what, there's been people that I've talked to that certain people can actually make a crystal sing.
Wow.
They can make their crystal vibrate. They can make this crystal. Certain people, if they hold it depends on how their frequency. Depends on what frequency they're vibrating at. They're holding that crystal in their hand, and they're in Sedona area. I use that because that's big. That's the main place we have here in North America, and it's real. But anyhow, they can actually. It actually makes an audible or a higher pitch. It will actually ring, and I've heard. Now I haven't actually seen this. I've heard that there's been some people that can actually make a crystal light up. The crystal will actually not only emit noise, but will emit light.
Well, it's just what Carol Davis was telling us about, you know, that crystal skull. I mean, it heals people, you know. So.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
I wanted to ask about, you guys mentioned I heard you say orbs earlier.
Mm-hmm.
I would be interested to know how many people have seen orbs. And my brother tells of a story of one of his friends when they were young. And so his friend gets up in his house late at night, and his mom too, and they look out the window, and there's all these tiny orbs like dancing across the fence. He said they even come in the window of their house in the kitchen where they're at, and it's dark, and they're around the kitchen, and they're like there was a bowl there, and they would actually get in the bowl and roll around.
Wow.
Now, I mean, this is a story. I mean, I don't know if it's true. My brother just told me about this a long time ago, you know.
Strangest thing I've ever seen is St. Elmo's fire out at sea.
And then John,
oh, wow.
my friend has seen lots of orbs, where they're from, over there by Luke, Arizona. Him and his daughter and their family have seen lots of orbs.
Yeah, my very first encounter, or my very first sighting was an orb. Yeah.
But does ball lightning follow you? That's what happens to this guy.
Actually, it can. Yes. Well, it doesn't actually follow. It seems like it's following you, but it'll go right inside your house. It'll go and not damage anything. Goes through walls. It goes out windows. It's the damnedest thing, and they have no explanation of it whatsoever. Other than it being ball lightning.
Down here in Arkansas.
There were several. I mean, they came in. They were just following each other. Several of them,
See, I wouldn't think that's ball lightning, because normally ball lightning is separate. You know, it's just one deal. I've never heard of.
lightning will take place during a lightning storm. You have to have the lightning storm around the ball.
Not necessarily.
But yeah, that's
No,
Yeah.
not necessarily.
I saw going down some power line transmission.
Oh, there you go.
Transmission power
Yeah.
lines. So.
Yep.
Do you think that ball lightning is worse?
No,
Is what?
no.
Could be the same energy.
I think it's the same energy, but I don't think it's the same thing. No.
They could be of the same energy.
No.
Could be. I don't know. I do not know, but it could be very. I mean, we are in an infantile stage of learning about Earth energy as it is.
Yeah.
You know, we know that it's existed, but it's been quieted and been quenched from us for so long that most people have lost total any recognition or any thought or ideas of that actually being real. You know,
Well, most people today think the pyramids are an energy source.
yeah,
A lot of people.
They may have been back in the day, you
Yeah.
know. I think they were constructed at first to be an energy source, but not an energy like people think, you know, for lights and stuff like that. That's not what they were there for.
no.
You know, they're more for communication or for time travel or, you know, whatever, as a mapping system or something of that nature. You know, a beacon, more like a beacon.
With all those drawings and everything, there was no burn marks like from oil lamps. So
Right.
how did they see way in deep into that pyramid to paint and to carve and whatever they did?
Well, that's all done before the pyramids is finished. Yeah, those walls and stuff are all carved and set in place before the pyramids even finished. You're actually working outside, if you know what I'm saying, before they put the top on. You know, that's how that's all done. It took them years and years to do that.
I mean, there's all kinds of explanations as to the way of getting light into those areas. What I have always kind of thought about more of was the tools that they use to make those relief carvings, just like the Dendera ball.
Yeah.
The carvings in Dendera of the what supposedly is a light bulb. Those are relief carvings.
Yeah, they're in hieroglyphics.
They stick out. These carvings stick out from the stone base, the base stone.
Mm-hmm.
They're not carved into it. They're carved
Right.
out of it.
Yeah, everything around it. Yeah.
The relief carving.
Right.
Well, you can't get that smooth. You cannot make that by chisel. That can't be chiseled. That can't be. You know, the only way you can get those like that, you get the carving like that into granite and diorite, is with
Diamonds.
with a diamond tip machining tool.
Or laser.
At least diamond tip.
Or laser.
Or something harder than that. I mean,
Or laser.
but or laser.
Or laser.
But they had some kind of a machine that had some kind of a device. It had some kind of a power tool doing that. It wasn't done by hand. It wasn't done by hand. It's like the statue of Ramses is so perfect that we would have a hard time duplicating that today. Not saying that we couldn't do it, but we would have a hard time doing it because, number one, it would take some special tooling devices to make the face, make the precision of measurements of the from cheek to the center of the nose on the right side, and the same measurement from the left side to the center of the nose. That, to me, that's not just by chance. That wasn't just done by.
Well,
they
look at all
didn't just
Right.
make that.
the figurines they make, and all the art they did. I mean, from
Sure.
gold to just all they did is just mind-boggling.
It is.
Right.
It is.
But
Very
The
mind-boggling.
Egyptians
Yes.
now, the Egyptians, we always speak. A lot of people confuse this. They say that the Egyptians were the founders, that they were the base of all civilization here on Earth, and that's
No.
not true at all.
Oh, you had the
They
Mayans.
inherited that
Yeah.
area. They inherited that area,
Yeah.
Not only that, but I think that they also inherited a lot of the tools that were used.
Probably.
The gods Thoth and Horus and all that.
Like,
Thoth was the
wasn't it Cleopatra and was not even Egyptian, she was Greek.
no,
Right.
She was Greek.
Exactly.
Yeah, she was Greek.
Exactly.
She came from she was Athenian.
Yep.
Yeah, she was definitely.
Yep.
Yes.
I mean, Alexander the Great.
There's a number of them.
But Julius Caesar had an affair with Cleopatra because she was Greek. Well, she was related to Aristotle, and somehow you have to go. You all got to study that. You can find it on YouTube. I've gone through and I've studied it before, and I'm going through my mind. But Aristotle was the teacher of Socrates. Socrates was the teacher of Plato. Well, Aristotle is the one. He was the teacher who taught as a little boy Julius Caesar. He taught Julius Caesar everything he knew was Aristotle.
No, that had
Yeah,
it.
well, they were Aristotle. Aristotle came from a Greek dynasty. Okay. Well, Cleopatra came from that same family of Aristotle. Somehow she was related to Aristotle, and that's where she came from. And it was because Caesar had the Roman Empire had gone through, and they were conquering all that part of the world, the Mediterranean area, northern Africa, and all that stuff, And at that time, in that time period back then, in their time period, when Caesar and Cleopatra had their thing going on, and during that time, there was a lot of turmoil, and Egypt was starting to fall. And Cleopatra was the last dynasty. She was the last great Egyptian dynasty. And when she fell,
Weren't they Nubians? They
Had a thing on that.
some people say
there's some to say that. I've heard some people say that yes, they were this or that. What I have heard more, and especially if you listen to any of the presentations by David Wilcock, he speaks of how the Egyptian dynasties, they were the survivors of the great cataclysmic event that destroyed the Atlantean continent, the continent of Atlantis. And that's where, and
I don't know if I believe all that.
Before the continent, before it was actually destroyed, they sent out their noblemen throughout the world all their teachers went out throughout the land, throughout the world, not the land, well, all the land, yeah, okay. But they coursed throughout all the world, and they took teachings and gave us mathematics and the arts and all this, and language and the ability to write in certain languages, all these different languages and everything, formed from those noblemen that were sent out from Atlantis to help, because they knew something was going to happen, so they wanted to help to permeate a more dynastic population of the world, to help enlighten the world and give them knowledge, and that's what they did. Edgar Casey spoke of this. Some of the writings of Plato speak of that, but David Wilcox, he's the one now that he's carrying the torch now, saying that our modern, all our mathematics and our architecture and everything stems right back to being learned from the dynastic people, the noblemen from Atlantis, and that's where Thoth came from. Thoth was the teacher. He was the Thoth. It's spelled Thoth.
You mean Thoth?
Thoth. 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 Thoth.
However,
okay.
yeah.
We just want to make sure that everybody knows what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. The Greek god with the head of an ibis. He had a bird head with a long beak.
Yeah.
He was the teacher. He was the one that taught. He taught mathematics. He taught all the things in Zep Tepe at the beginning of in the time of the Enlightenment. When they
So I wouldn't want to be one to tell the Egyptians that they didn't build the pyramids.
No.
Yeah.
Well, see, there we go back to.
Donnie Howard would have a cow.
I can go on and on. I can go on all night about how they all these ancient sites like the Greek Acropolis and all this. Everybody says that the Greeks were the ones that built the Acropolis. They didn't. The Greeks did not build the Acropolis. They inherited it. Just like the Cambodians did not build Angkor Wat. They inherited it. The Indonesians did not build Borobudur. They inherited it. These are all temples, and even now the Hindus have almost a complete unbroken chain of events all the way back for 8,000 years.
Mm-hmm.
They go back, I believe it's 7,000 or 8,000 years, and to their Mahabharata, to their Bible. They go back, and that's where they speak of all these weapons, the weapons of that we have today. They already had all those weapons thousands and thousands of years ago. There was lends credence to the fact that there was a highly advanced civilization that lived here on Earth, that inhabited Earth, and that some cataclysmic event took place and wiped out almost, not all, but almost all human life and anything that was on land. Almost all humans were wiped out. There was millions and millions of people. Imagine this. Imagine being millions and millions of people all over the world like we got today. We got billions of people actually on the Earth today. Imagine if some cataclysmic, and this can happen. This can happen, folks. This is not some type of imagination. I'm just putting everything into reality here for you. So
Right.
But if it was to happen today, and a cataclysmic event was to take place and kick it down to where there was only 35,000 human beings left alive throughout the whole Earth, not just all in one place, but throughout all of Earth, there's
Sure
only
would be peaceful.
35,000 left. And
90 seconds.
Peaceful. But they'd have to rebuild. They'd be starting from scratch.
Sure.
Check it out. They'd have to be starting from scratch.
Half of them probably wouldn't make it.
Nobody run the infrastructure. Nobody run the power plants. Nobody run the infrastructure. Nobody, everybody.
Like I said.
Everybody having
Probably all those nuclear plants would be going off. So
Yeah.
Ooh.
I'd be surprised if they.
That's about
Yeah,
it.
what's that place in I think it's in
60 seconds.
Pakistan,
Well-
or is it
How
in
many
Iran?
states have clear
Yeah.
energy? I mean, those
None.
power plants are all over our country, and all over the
Oh,
world.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey guys, you're running out of
Really?
time. Unfortunately,
Oh, man.
again.
I
Yeah.
wanted to tell about
Oh.
my UFO sighting.
Oh no.
Oh.
Yeah. Unfortunately, got about less than a minute.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Next time.
That's all right. Yeah. Hey, that's what we're here for. We'll do it. Yeah. Hopefully we'll get on here again tomorrow night. I'm gonna see what I can do about this dropping my my unit thing here, but I
10 seconds.
Yeah, I hear you. We got to do
It
some.
always goes so fast.
It does, yeah.
You gonna show tomorrow night?
Unfortunately, well, we'll go beyond a little bit here. You know, it doesn't. It just shuts off the mainstream, so people can't. Who's ever listening in can't actually hear. But that's okay. But yeah, I got to figure out what this glitch is with this outfit here because we are having some major issues. I got dropped 4 times tonight already, so I'm going to figure this out, see what the hell's going on here. But anyway, so hopefully, yeah, if not tomorrow night, we'll have one Wednesday night, and then it's back to work. So
Okay.
Cool.
Alrighty, sounds good.
Right on.
All right.
Well, okay, let us know when it's going to be.
What was that?
And I will make sure my phone is plugged in and charged in.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
how can they can't make a battery that lasts longer than 24 hours?
Well,
I don't know.
because they got to make you pay for it. Yeah.
Yep.
One way or the other. You got to pay to charge it. You got to pay to buy it. You know, it's funny. Yeah. Brother. Alrighty. Okay. Well, we'll pick this up where we left off.
Tesla.
Okay. All right. Good night, y'all.
All right, we'll see you guys.
Okay. Have fun. Thank you very much for calling in. Yes.
Good night, Glenn.
Good night, everybody. Thank you. Okay, folks. So I'm sorry, you know, the way it goes, we have to wind up ending the show. But once again, though, I do want to, you know, send out our deepest thoughts to the people in Los Angeles, and of course to the rock and rollers of America. You know, with the great Tom Petty. Thank you all, and have a very good evening.
I want to thank you all for listening to Closer Encounters. Please remember to like, follow, and share. And until we meet again, keep your eyes to the skies. Thank you.
Thank you all.